welcome everybody to another live laser distractions. Hope things will be a little smoother this time. I've added some lighting, so this camera shouldn't be going in and out of focus, and the picture should be a little better than it was last week. I have also figured out how to, of course, I added the lighting. The light's not on right now, but I've added that lighting to the bed so it's much brighter. And I figured out how to turn off that silly autofocus so it shouldn't be pulsing like it was last week. And of course, I tested out this mic that I'm using. It's a wireless thing, so I should be able to walk around and still have the same volume. So hopefully those three things will make it more enjoyable for you to watch this tonight. So tonight, last week I talked a lot about how you can use scroll saw patterns, and they make excellent laser projects. And I've already run a bunch of stuff. I think I showed some last week, and then I showed some again during the Saturday night live stream. But they're real easy to use. And one thing I did mention is I'm going to show that tonight, is I'm going to go through step by step how to go to get a PDF scroll saw pattern, and in particular one from Steve Good's website, because that's what I've been using, and he's got a ton of stuff over there. So I'm going to go through step by step. We'll go to Steve Good's website. I'll download a file, show you how to bring it into Lightburn, put the layers on it and stuff, and then we'll burn it out and see how it comes out. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started on that. Let me switch some stuff around here. I'm trying to get all these buttons figured out. Okay, so let me go back here to the laptop, and we'll get online and download something from Steve Good's site. So let's see, let me go here. I've already bookmarked his website somewhere in here. Here it is. And y'all, I'm going to try to keep turning around. I can't see the comments here on this laptop, but I'll try to keep an eye out. If for some reason this mic should drop out or something, let me know. I think it's working pretty good. I got it charged up good, and I think it's working pretty good. But this is, Steve Good's scroll saw pattern thing. He's got just a ton of stuff on here, and he gives all this stuff away for free. Of course, you do see the donate button. So if you go to his website and get some of this stuff to cut on your laser or something, give the guy a little donation of some kind. I'm going to go here and select. Let's go down here and pick holidays. And I've already been looking. Now these, I already have these. I've scroll sawed these as well as have them here as a program to run. These are the other ones I got to scroll saw, and have cut those on the laser. Let me just go over here. I'll just kind of go through here slowly so you can get an idea of all the stuff he has. And like I said, this stuff just works great for laser as well as scroll saw. When I cut something with the laser, I wish I could scroll saw it that well. I never ended up being much of a scroll saw artist, and it was fun. I bought a new DeWalt's let's see, what is it? DeWalt 688, or I think is the popular scroll saw, and I had it for a little while and knew I wasn't going to use it, so I ended up getting rid of it. But anyway, I thought I would check this one out. This one, I'm going to go ahead and download this pattern. This one is doing the Merry Christmas, and then it also has a backer here. So I'm going to grab this one right here. And one thing I wanted to mention that's kind of important, you can see this when you open this up, it's a PDF and it's 4 pages, and this is how the download comes. So you need to scroll down and you'll see why in a little bit. You'll see that what I want is here on page 3. That's that part of it. And then the backer board is on page 4. Now this says 1/2 inch, but I'm just going to cut both pieces out of 1/4 inch. But so I know that I'm going to need page 3 and 4, and you'll see where in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. Let's see, it's called Snow Christmas. I'm going to put it in downloads just so I can hopefully be able to find it. Let me turn around here and check the comments. Good evening, William. He's joined us here. So, all right. I see JR says the new mic's working great. Like I said, just let me know, because since I'm out here by myself, I don't know if all of a sudden something stops and I'm just babbling on like an idiot, not getting any stuff with the mic. Okay, so it finished the download. So now I'm going to go ahead and leave this website here. And let's see if I need to. Okay, now I'm going to come over here to Lightburn. And you should be able to see the Lightburn screen. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab that PDF here, and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to move it. Let's see, where am I putting this stuff? Lightburn files. Okay, I'm just going to stick it right in here for now. That'll be fine, just as long as I know where I put it. So it's in the C drive and under Lightburn files. So now let me come back to Lightburn, and here's how you bring it into Lightburn. You click import, and let's see, let me go to C, Lightburn files right there where I put it. Here it is right here, Snow Christmas. And when you click open, you'll notice this little window pops up, and it's saying, it knows that this PDF is 4 pages. So it's saying, okay, which page do you want? So I know I need 3 and 4. So I'm going to tell it 3 and hit OK. And while that's highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and make it this color. Let's see. And then I don't know where it will bring in that other one, but I'll move this one over here a little bit, get it out of the way. And then I'll come back and I'll go File, Import, and grab it again. And this time I'll tell it page 4. And again, I'll click this. So there's the backer. Now, what I'm going to be using is these 12 by 19 inch panels that are 1/4 inch thick, or just under 1/4 inch. that I got from Home Depot. That they're like a maple pure bond plywood, and I'm really liking it. It cuts really good. It looks really good. So I'm going to be using that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangle here, just somewhere in here. And I'm going to tell that to be my frame. And then I'll come back here to select. And when I click on, oops, come on, Dave. There we go. When I click on this, I want to set this size to be 12 by 19. So for the width, I'm going to type 12. And of course, I have this set up for millimeters. So I'm going to say times 25.4, enter. So that's my 12 inches wide. And then here I'll make this 19 times 25.4, enter. So there is my blank that I'm going to be putting in the machine. And I think also what I'm going to do, it looks like I can probably rotate these and cut them the other way. So I'm going to highlight this and just bring this around like that. Whoops. Don't want to do that, Dave. Okay, let me grab the whole thing here and then move it right down here. And then I will grab this one and we'll rotate it like that. Yeah, let's see, I can get it pretty close there. And we can do it just like that. Okay, now I want to take a look at this because I want to make sure that this one cuts all the outside stuff first, the inside stuff first, and cuts the outside last. So I'm going to highlight this, use this other layer. Let's see, I can move that one up. Okay, so yeah, because that's all the outer part. So it'll do the inside stuff first. And then this one, it doesn't really matter, but I'll put it on the same layer as the outside of the other one there. And that's pretty much it. It's really that easy. Around this, we can also preview this. Let me take a quick peek here and see if make sure everything's still going good. Okay, Clyde's joining us. Good evening, Clyde. So I will now preview this and I'll go ahead and fill up the screen with it. And we can hit play. See that it's going to cut the inside stuff first. Okay, now it's doing that outside part on the backer. And there we go. And if you look over here where my cursor is, right in the far right hand corner, it says it's going to take 8 minutes and 5 seconds. So check that after we run it and see how close that is. I wanted to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Here's one I did before. So I'll just overwrite that one. And I want to show you another way you can do it by bringing that in. And this is actually the way I had been doing it until I tried importing it directly into Lightburn and saw that they ask you for the page numbers and stuff like that. But let me open up VCarve Pro here, and I will show you. Okay, JR is saying intermittently garbled audio. Is it better now? Let me I had this down in my pocket. Let me put the turn it around. Okay, now he says, okay. Well, I hope it wasn't garbled for very long. But all right, I'll continue on. Okay, so now I'm in VCar Pro, and if I create a new file, and here you can see that I've already been using it like this. So this is my 12 by 19 blank, and it's even got the 0.2. Actually, that's not right because it's 0.2 inches. It's roughly 5 millimeters. Doesn't really matter what that says. But anyway, so now I'll go to that same thing and import vectors, and I'll go to right here where that same file is. And this is how VCar Pro does it. It brings the whole thing in. But if you look up here, you've got these different pages here. So if you just start at the top, and let me leave that one on, and start turning these off, you can see that you can get rid of the stuff you don't need. You can get just page 3 and 4 by coming up here and doing that. So this is what you would need. It's probably a little more difficult with VCar Pro than it is doing it straight into Lightburn. But this was actually how I was doing it to start with, because this was what I knew. And then once I figured out that it's a little easier with Lightburn, the only thing is it's a good idea to open up the PDF and find out what pages you need, because you need to know that to tell it. But usually the patterns are always at the very end of Steve's PDF. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd show you that's another way you can do it. And of course, once I get that to here, what I would do is, let's see, I'll just do it, I guess. Let's see, let me move this one. Well, okay, let me get that out of the way. Okay, so then what I would do is come down here and turn these on, and then I would highlight both of them, and then tell this to export as a DXF file. And then I would just go and import the DXF file into Lightburn. But like I said, it's really, the way I showed you the first way is probably the easier way. All right, let me see how. All right, Solar Man's here. Okay, Don says the garbled audio was only about 4 or 5 seconds. Okay, well, hopefully it'll stay good. I don't know. Like I said, I pulled it out of my pocket now and have where the antenna's not buried in my pocket. I wouldn't think that would make a difference, but maybe so. Anyway, let me, I'm going to do some of the same stuff I did last, just because I know the camera was crummy. So I know I showed you this material, but when I went back and watched the video, you can't really see it that good. The camera kept pulsing and stuff. So let me give you this view. Let me go ahead and turn that thing on so the lights will be on. But this is that material that I was trying to show last week, but the camera kept messing up. But this is really nice stuff. It's like I said, they kind of make this for the glow forge people and the smaller 40-watt lasers. This is a 12 by 19, and they come in boxes of 10. And it's pretty nice stuff. It figures out to be about maybe $5 a blank, but depending on what you're cutting, you can get a lot of little ornaments and stuff like that out of it. Okay, I think I've got that lined up right. Let me yeah, I think the focus is still good. So I'm going to go back to light burn here. Switch this back around, and I'm going to go ahead and frame this, and I have it set to frame that whole blank. So I'm going to be clicking frame right here, and then I'll put it back on this other view so you can watch it go around there. It's close enough for government work, so I think we'll be okay. So let me get my fan turned on here and get the laser turned on. And we are ready to go. Yeah, he is kind of a slacker, isn't he, JR? How did I asked this last week too, how did the notifications work? I was talking in the coffee sessions this morning, and I kept saying, you can always go back and watch it by clicking the community tab, and that's not correct. It's not the community tab, it's the membership tab. So if you click that, that's where you can find all the, well, so far there's 2 live streams, this one and the one from last week. But you can, if I have one scheduled, you can just go there, you click the membership tab, go there and see that video, and then click notify me, and that way it should send out a notification once I go live. JR, that's a good question. He says, do you need to wear safety glasses, or does the translucent panel screen out the danger of eye damage? The panel pretty much covers it. I mean, it never hurts to wear, safety glasses. And when I say safety glasses, I'm not talking about the laser glasses like you have to wear with a diode laser. That's a whole different frequency or whatever. The diode laser, you can see. The CO2 laser, you cannot see. But it's always a good idea to wear some kind of safety glasses, or if you're like me, JR, and you wear regular glasses, that's probably going to be good enough. let's see here. He says, Sean says, you won't regret it if you do. Yeah, it never hurts to wear safety glasses. You just don't have, like I said, you just don't have to wear the pretty uh, red looking ones that you do for a diode laser. Okay, Ryan says, notification come up, but I didn't see it in my feed. Didn't know about the membership tab. Yeah, well, I kept saying community tab, and that's not right. I don't know what I was thinking. It's the membership tab that you need to click to get that. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Ryan says 1.5 today. So is that how many? Oh, okay, yeah. How many houses did you knock out today? 1.5. All right. All right. Okay. Hopefully the sound is going to continue to work okay. I'm just so happy that that when I turned off that autofocus, it stopped doing all that pulse, and that was just annoying as all get out. Even even for me, when I went back to watch it, I thought, "Holy cow!" But I think we've got all the issues fixed. Hopefully, the mic will continue to work okay. Let me check the time on this one. We are at, let's see, the preview said it would take 8 minutes, 5 seconds. And we're at 4 minutes and 45 seconds right now. So I think it's probably going to be pretty close. And I know there might be some folks watching this and saying, oh, you could cut that faster. And I know I probably could. But as I mentioned last week, if I get a setting that works good, I'm not in any hurry. 8 minutes or wouldn't, is what it's going to take. If I could get it to 4 minutes, it really doesn't matter. But I'm trying to figure out how to cut things and get them to cut well and use the least. Look at my little milliamp meter. It's using 7 milliamp to do this. 30%. 30% power. And 10 millimeters per second for the speed. Don says, you converted everything to metric. Your reasoning behind that is simply because light burn is set up for millimeters. I don't know. Yeah, right here. It's set up for millimeters. So that's just what I've chosen to work with. So, you saw how I did. I typed in inches and then you just multiply it right in that little box by 25.4, which is used to convert it to metric. So since it's so easy with that built-in calculator, it's, I just like running metric, and mainly because that website that I use a lot, that boxes.py, it generates the DXF files in millimeters. So I don't have to worry about scaling anything or anything like that. When I use that box generator and create a file, it's it's already good to go when I bring it in. Okay, JR says, does that thing have just one exhaust fan at the back or pusher fans in the front also? As soon as this thing quits and it's almost done, I'll show you uh, what I'm using to pull that smoke out. Don says, okay, yep, easy enough. I just refuse to learn it. My old day job required me to work with both inches and millimeters. So, because we'd get a lot of drawings that were German, and they do everything in metric. So I don't have much of it memorized, but I do have a little bit. But all right, let me switch back here just for a second. I wanted to show this to JR. JR, this is the stock fan that these things come with. It's a 6-inch thing, and it's got an exhaust port right in the middle of the back of the machine. But there's two problems. One, this isn't really enough. And the other thing is, with it being in the machine, it's trying to pull the smoke from the bed, but then it's trying to push it out the window through that, 5 or 6 feet of 6-inch duct. So what I saw everybody else doing is they would immediately take out the stock fan and they would buy an AC Infinity, which is what I have over there on the wall. And you see I have just a very short piece of duct, maybe a foot or so, going from there to the window. And I don't know all the science behind it and all that. All I know is they say that these things pull better if you put your fan as close to the exit point as you can. Let it pull the smoke instead of pushing it. And a problem with these, why everybody takes these out, is because if you leave this in and hook up one of these and try to run, they fight each other and they're not efficient. So this one here will make this one work much less efficient. Okay, let's JR says, so that one inline fan does all the exhaust work. Yes. And if you're wondering, you see me wearing, I got a flannel shirt and a jacket on. You're probably thinking it's colder out here. It's really not that bad. It's about 65. It's a little cool. But when I was out here earlier today, when you run that fan, I'm trying to keep the garage door closed and all this stuff to keep the heat in. But when you run that fan, it's moving 400 and I think it's like 450 CFM. Well, it's got to pull that air from somewhere. So it's taking the heat out of my shop and shoving it, out that window too. So if you run that for very long, you can tell it'll start getting cooler in here. All right, let's go pull that out and see what it did. Okay, here's the main piece. Let's see. I think I got all the. See, now this is, I feel like I have to be careful holding this because it's so fragile. You know, look how, I mean, you can see how easily it bends. I could only imagine me trying to scroll saw something like this. I'd have this stuff broke off every which way. But, you know, of course, I think in the PDF files, he had it where that backer board was red or a different color. So that came out really nice. I like that. I like that. Okay, so I'll give you, I don't know if this camera is any better, but yeah, that came out super nice. And I mean, here we are, well, 40 minutes, but of course I've been yakking half that time. It just doesn't take long at all. Just like I said, you go get a scroll saw pattern, import it in, and just that quick, uh, it's done. Let me check the time. The time on the controller says 8 minutes, 9 seconds. So that's, I really like that light burn. It's really close in the estimated time. It's almost dead on sometimes. So, all righty, let's see. Okay, this is like OnlyFans CNC edition. Yeah, looks great. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you saw when I was on that website, there's a ton of stuff. So for anybody that's either got a laser or thinking about getting one, you know, when you get ready to just get it set up and get ready to start cutting, you shouldn't have to think, well, I got to draw something now. You can just get all kinds of stuff and go to town with it. I'm going to set this over here. Here earlier, cutting some stuff. I made some Christmas ornaments, doggy style. There's one with Jack's name on it, and of course they have the little backer thing. I'm trying to figure out. I think since these have a, now I can't hold it without my fingers being in the way. And I wanted to show you the one I did for my other dog, Rocky. Let me get that over here. And if you notice, they don't look exactly the same. The snowflakes are in different things. And what I did, well, instead of talking about it, I'll just show you. Let me come back over here to Lightburn. What I do is I've got several of those ornaments I need to run. In fact, I might try to run 3 more right quick on that piece of material that's in there. But if I come here to, let's see. Well, where the heck is it? Well, let me just go here. No, that's not where it's at. There we go. What I do is I have a template set up, and basically just so not everyone's the same, I took this and mirrored it so that it just flipped over. So you get a little bit different. So if you're making several of these like I am for one person, they won't all be exactly the same. There'll be a little bit of difference in them. And you'll notice what I did here. I have to put myself a note on here that says make copy before editing. So this one, the name of this file is dog paw ornament template. So I open that up when I'm ready to do one, and then I heed this warning here, and I immediately go file, save as, and call it Rocky or Jack or whatever dog I'm making one for. And then that way I don't mess up my template. And then once I get the file name correctly, I can get rid of whichever one of these I'm not going to use. Like if I'm going to use this one for Jack, I could get rid of this one over here. But you always want to save a template and, you know, open it up and then file and save as, so you don't have to mess up and redraw something over and over again. And basically all you have to do then is put the text in, size it, get it to fit and hold on good, and it works really well. Let me see. Thank you, Sean. Jerry's in the house. How you doing, Jerry? Glad you made it. Let's see. Ryan says there's some 3M adhesive sheets I see people use a lot. Laser cuts right through it. Put on the back of the top layer, then peel and stick. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really easy way. I'll show you some of these others I've done. And in fact, I got to be real careful because I'm doing some for a good friend of mine. And it just so happens that both of her dogs have an I in the name. So here is Rosie. And I have, and I'm trying to be real careful and not lose it, I have the dot for the I that's going to go right there. So I'm keeping that there. And then her other dog, the dog she has now, oh, I know I'm going to drop those. Let me just show you this part. That dog's name is Lissy. So it's got two I's in it. So I actually came out here and had to run because I lost one of the dots to the I. And once they get in that crumb tray and you haven't emptied it out, you're, needle in a haystack time there. So I emptied out the crumb tray and ran it again. And sure enough, it fell in there. And I'm still not sure I got the right piece, but I'm saving some little bitty pieces now to use for dots of the I, because I wanted to do it like that and not do a stencil type thing. Let's see here. JR asks, Dave, what's your personal use case for the machine? Crafts to give people, make items to sell, or just fun projects? Kind of pretty much all of that. It's the same thing with the CNC. I never like to run stuff with that. Like when I do a Saturday night show and I'm demoing something, most likely whatever it is I'm running is going to end up in the fire pit because I don't need anything. It's just more stuff to set around. Now, with this thing, if I run anything that's, like if I show something and somebody goes, oh, yeah, can you make me some of that? Well, I'm happy to do that. Or I might try to, it just depends. I might try to put some stuff on the website because I got some stuff coming up down the road, and you'll see when I get to it what I'm talking about, where I don't really need them for myself, but I'll probably post pictures, and then if somebody wants it, we'll work out something like that. But I don't want a job. I don't want to be, I see so many people in the Facebook groups that are buying these things for their side gig, and you see them posting a panic post in the Facebook group, and they're like, oh, my machine's down. I got orders. I'm getting behind. I don't want that stress. So if anybody ever wanted me to make something for them, depending on what I probably would, but there'd have to be no deadline. It's like whenever I get around to doing it, that's when you'll get it, because I don't want stress, and that's, you know, I just don't want a job. And I know a lot of these people, like I said, I see them all the time on there. They get all stressed out, uh, because something happens, it's not cutting right, or it was cutting great yesterday, but it's not cutting right today, and I'm behind on orders and all this stuff, and I'm like, that ain't for me. But anyway, let's see what I'm missing here. Okay, we got some Christmas lights stuff, white lights, colored lights. Well, icicle lights ever make a comeback? Go ahead and start the trend, Jayon. Put it out there. Mike's in the house. How you doing, Mike? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Clyde. Cut a couple of small hearts. Yeah, I might do that. That's a good idea. They'd probably be a little easier to find than just a round dot, too. That's a great idea. Let's see. Ryan says warm white is most popular. Yep, yep. Okay. What is this? Speaking of which, I'm not sure what where you're going with that. I've got just a few minutes. I think I'll go ahead and cut a couple more of the ornaments here. I'll leave that other camera on so you don't have to look at the back of my head. My little blue bin that they gave me to the one they ship with these machines, in case you want to use just the regular little aquarium pump to try to cool these things. I'm using it as a scrap bin, and it's ready to go around there to the fire pit. All right, I will put this camera back on, and we'll open up one of these other files. Let's see, Bella is one of them I need to do. So let's see here if I frame that. Okay, let me move. Well, let's see. I'll just bump this up. I think that's good. Okay, now these take a little over 3.5 minutes to run these. I'm going to go ahead and bump that over this lid. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'll stick this back over here like this. Y'all can watch this one burn. There's that JR guy. Toss this in the project board expense fund. I appreciate that, JR. That's what all this membership stuff and all is about. It will help me to be able to, afford the materials to. Can you hear me now? Let me go check my settings here. Yeah, I think. Okay, I think you should be able to hear me now. It looks like the mic died, the wireless mic, and I think I might not have been charging it right. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. Okay, I don't know. I don't know where it dropped out at. But anyhow, let me get back to. Oops. Okay, there's Bella. So now I've got 2 more to go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. That's the bad thing about doing these things solo is if something quits, you don't catch it right away. So I don't know how long I had been talking, but anyway, I was talking about the that guy that I stumbled across that was doing railroad modeling, and so I started watching a bunch of videos for that. And I don't have the time or the money or the space to get involved in that, but it did give me an idea of something cool to try with this laser, and that is to create a 1/24th scale model of my childhood home. So, and what's kind of weird is about 4 years ago, a good friend of mine up in Indiana was driving out past the old house, and she sent me a message. Said, "Yeah, I just drove past your old house. Looks like it's for sale." And as soon as she said it was for sale, I'm like, "Oh, I got to go check this out." So I went to check it out, and of course, there was all kinds of pictures and stuff from the real estate company. And when I sent the realtor an email, he said, "Well, that house is under contract and they're supposed to close Friday." So I just missed it, just that much, because I would have bought it in a heartbeat. But anyway, he says, "Well, what, tell me what you're looking for. What other house?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm not looking for another house." I said, "I was looking for that house." I said, "I grew up there, so that is the one I would want." But anyhow, I just think it'd be cool. I've watched a lot of these railroad modelers, and they model all kinds of, silos and different buildings that they're doing for these like dioramas for the railroad modeling. And that just kind of gave me the idea. So I figured with a laser, could probably be able to do that. Not real easy, but fairly easy. Because you can put the brick patterns and stuff like that on the thing with the laser. So I'm going to give that a shot. And you might even see some of that on these Wednesday things. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Sean asked, "What font do I use for this?" Let me show you. I was looking for, well, let's see. Let me carry this mic over here because now you won't be able to hear me. I'll just drag it over here. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me good. Now, like I said, I used that template thing. And what you want to do is immediately save it as something else so you don't mess up your template. And I'll just put Sean. So we'll save that. Now that I've got another file saved, I can get rid of the stuff. I mean, I could leave it on there if I wanted to, but I just take it off. And what I've been doing is we'll put I realized I typed Sean the other spelling when I saved the file. So we'll put this spelling on here. And then I go to, and I've got a font called Baby Aletha. It's a good script font, and I just stick it in there. and start making it a little bigger. Keep moving it around. You know, you want to try to get it where it's going to catch probably at least 3 places. So there I've got the end catching. Let me bring it down just a hair. Maybe need to move it up. Make it just a hair bigger. Okay, and then let's see if I can remember how to do this. I always mess this up, but if you highlight this outer part of the paw, hold down the shift, and then highlight the name, and then come over here and hit the subtract, and then it ties all that in. So you can see it's got holding on part of the S, 2 places there, and then 1 over here. So that should be enough to hold it. But the font is called Baby Aletha. And I got that from that website, DaFonts, DAFONTS.com. So let's see. JR says, I bet that'd be a cool cottage industry niche product line. People that do scale railroads have money and are pretty free with it. Yeah. Once I started, I've been watching some podcasts, and I mean, those guys, they might as well be talking Greek to me, because they'll talk about locomotives and they'll say, yeah, that's a GP 35D, or, you know, they can tell by looking. They're like, you know, the old car guys, when you used to be able to tell a 66 Mustang from a 67 and stuff like that. It's like these guys are way into it. But yeah, and that's, you know, that's what they do. They'll dedicate their whole basement to modeling a whole railroad, and you know, and they'll try to duplicate their little town or things like that. So it's amazing. I gotta learn how to work these buttons. But there we go. It's amazing the stuff that they do, and they'll have. And I've watched so many of them. They'll have their camera, whether it's probably just their phone or something, and they're shooting video, and the train's coming by, and you see all this scenery. You can't tell whether it's a real train or, you know, when they back the camera off, then you can see that it's just in their basement. You know, it's amazing the work those guys do. But like I said, I don't have the time, the money, or the space for that kind of a hobby. But it did kind of inspire me to think, hey, I bet I could use this laser to make some buildings. And then I thought I'd like to make a little small, I don't know, I guess you call them a diorama with my childhood home, the garage and the driveway and the road out front and all that stuff. I think it'd be cool to do that. And a lot of the stuff those guys do, they use lasers or know somebody that has one. So I think I'll give that a try. JR wants to know, will light burn center within another vector like V-carb? Yes, it will. And I'll see if I can show you that. Well, let me carry the mic back over there. All right, just real quick here. Let's say I'm going to draw. Okay, so there's a box. Now let's say I wanted to center this in the center of this box. I would just highlight that. And let's see if I can remember how to do it. There's a bunch of different ways you can align it. There's all these different alignment tools, but I believe it's this one right here. And I think if I hold that, well, those things weren't grouped, so that's why I jumbled them all together like that. Let me do this, then group it. And now I'll hold shift down, highlight the box, and now hit that center, and boom, there, it throws it right in the center. So there's a bunch of different ways. That puts it dead in the center. And of course, if you hold the mouse up here, you can see it has the little helper things pop out. But there's all different kinds of ways to align stuff. Like I said, I'm really still new to Lightburn, even though I've been using it for a fair bit of time. I haven't, done that many different things with it. It's mostly just bringing in files because I have so many files that I already have because of being in CNC so long. I usually am just bringing in something and, uh, putting the layers on it and getting ready to cut it. I'm not having to really draw much of anything. The only thing I really kind of learned is that what I just showed a while ago, putting the text on there on these different dog ornament things. So let's see, Sean, I guess he found that thing. I've looked at a bunch of different ones, Sean, but I found that one has the look I like with these dog ornaments. And if you have the well, I don't know. I don't think you use Lightburn. If you look up, well, it's not going to show on that, but there's a button up here you check when you're doing text, and it will automatically weld the text. So if you're using script and you have that unchecked and then start spreading it apart, you'll have separate letters. But if you have that little switch checked where it says to weld automatically, it will keep the text welded together. JR says, I've seen some of those videos. It's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. It's like I said, I'm really impressed with those guys because when I watch them, I mean, I'm like, I don't know nothing about trains. And those guys, and it's not like they all work for the railroad. Some of them do, but some of them are just nerdy railroad guys. They dig trains and they've learned all about them. They know I mean, it's just amazing the stuff they know. They know the history. They know what line used what model locomotive and how many they had and what one they used for a switcher and all. Just, it's amazing. Half the time I don't even know what they're talking about, but it's interesting to watch them do like they'll be in some guy's basement and there'll be like 15 guys there, and it's like they're all in. One of them's the switcher, one of them's the conductor, one of them's the engineer, one of them's the dispatcher. And they got radios and stuff because they might be clear at the other end of the house. It's crazy, but I really like watching it because of the quality of the buildings and stuff that they do to recreate old buildings and stuff. It just looks so cool to me. But anywho, I guess we've been at an hour and 15. I'll probably run those other two before I shut this thing off tonight. But I guess we'll call it a night. Like I said earlier, if you're having trouble finding the stream, just go to my YouTube channel and then click on the memberships tab, and that should take you to where the stream is. I kept saying community tab, but that's where I post stuff. But you guys look in the membership tab. So the level of detail buildings, hard scraps is bananas. Yeah. I'm trying to, you know, I, you know how this stuff is. Same kind of deal with CNC. You make something and you show somebody, and immediately comes out of their mouth is, "Can you make some of those for me?" So that's why I'm doing some of these dog ornament things for a friend of mine and for some people in her family. But I hope to get some time to try to draw up some of the stuff for that house. I'm sure it's going to take several attempts to get it the way I want it, but I think it'll work out okay. I thought I would mention this too. I don't know if nobody wants to do it tonight because I didn't mention it ahead of time, but I think what I might start doing on these live streams is try to keep them at an hour, but then have like a little after show type thing where, with StreamYard, I can have myself and 9 other people in here. So if anybody else wanted to come in, it would be after I end the live stream. So it would basically be just getting in here like a private hangout to shoot the breeze or something like that. So if anybody wants to do that, let me know. Send me a Facebook message, and I will use the Facebook Messenger to send the link, and then you can join it, for the after thing, and we can hang out. And if you want to, it doesn't matter to me. If nobody does, I'll finish up what I'm doing and go on in. But okay, Alan says, I see a comment coming. Alan's here. Couldn't join early enough tonight. Going to catch the replay. Thanks for doing this, Dave. Yeah, I think when you watch the first part of it, the first probably 15, 20 minutes, you'll get some of the questions that you had last week answered good. So, yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to sign off. I'll check my Facebook. If anybody's out there and wants to come hang out a little while, I ain't going to be out here all night. We can hang out and shoot the breeze a little while if you want. And we'll do that for a while. Anyway, I will see everybody later. Let me get over here. I got to hit my fancy thing. Also, for I guess I don't know if you guys noticed this last week or not, but the outro I hit for this is giving you guys, the channel members, a little recognition. It's got a little credit thing rolling through, list of mine. So if you joined the channel recently and I hit it and you don't see your name, it's because I just haven't updated. You're too new. I just haven't had time to get it updated. But I updated it earlier today, so it should have everybody that's a channel member that I know of listed on there. So anyway, thanks for joining tonight. I'll check in my Facebook and see y'all later. Oh, somebody already snuck in. Look at you. All right, we'll see y'all.